If you've been looking for where to get the latest of sports information, then look no further, because this is the right place. You're welcome to the weekly sports diary on CMTV. This is Sports Ride, the program that comes to you every Wednesday at exactly 5 p.m. I want to apologize for today's late start, but of course we are ready and kicking to give you the most of and the best of updates as far as sports information within the Southwest region and beyond is concerned. We're going to talk today about so many things, prominently about football. We begin with the Orange Holiday Tournament organized out here in Buea, and of course we shall be giving you all the updates as far as that competition is concerned. Plus we give you highlights of a meeting of club presidents in the Southwest region which held over the weekend in Limbe, and of course we give you national sports and the latest of transfer rumors and gossips from within the world of football. My name is Abane Jeffrey Obasa, just call me AB Jeff, and I'm here with two gallant gentlemen to discuss sports this evening. I'm going to begin with the man at my very far right. His name is Sonny Armstrong. He's a regular on the program, a sports analyst. Good evening and welcome for making, and thank you for making the program this evening.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey, and good evening to all our viewers.
All right, we also have here with us someone who is very well noted as far as the world of football is concerned in the Southwest region. He won the Dixiad, known as the Cameroon Olympics, with the Southwest delegation, and of course he now also is the coach of the University of Buea Football Club. Good evening, Coach Asongu, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mr. Jeffrey.
All right, we just urge you to speak a little bit louder so that.
Good evening, Mr.
All right, so that our audience could get that gallant voice of yours. So that's the man, these are the gentlemen who are going to be talking sports with me here this evening. Sonny Armstrong, our analyst, and Coach Nicholas Asongu of the University of Buea Football Club. We take a transition, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we kickstart the program from this end. Stay with us. You're welcome back, and thanks for keeping the rendezvous. This is Sports Ride on CMTV. To kickstart the program today, we're going to talk about some interquarter football competition out here in Buea, the town of legendary hospitality. And the first one we'll talk about today is that organized by Orange Cameroon. We talk about the Orange Holiday Football Tournament that kickstarted out here in Buea, the town of legendary hospitality last week, Thursday. The kickoff was done at the Moliko Obni Sports Stadium last week, and of course in a few minutes we're going to be giving you the images of that match. Time for us to just have a quick reaction from our panelists here about what they think about this tournament. We begin you, coach, coach of football. You've coached so many teams. What do you think about the Orange tournament? It's kickstarted on Thursday last week.
Well, I think the Orange tournament is a wonderful one, and Orange has been promoting football. And at this point in time that most of our leagues are stopped. It's going to keep the players in a competitive level, and why not coming up with very good players which we have not yet been able to observe. So I want to say that it's a wonderful tournament, and it's going to make us, the coaches, observe some players to present or to take them with the University of Buea, or while not other teams of the Southwest region. And as we are preparing the Dixiad tournament, it's the moment for us to start preparing by observing the various interquarters, the various national, and there's the first division, second division, and why not the amateur league, because that the age limit has been augmented. Right. Now we have no age for the Dixiad tournament. We can play with players ranging from 18 to up to 30 years. So this is the moment to observe the players and come out with a team, because you need to be ready with a team so that at the D-Day you already have a team to start to play the tournament, because we are currently the gold medalists of the tournament. So every team will come prepared to play against the Southwest region.
All right. Sonny, I'm sure we know that the Southwest delegation have won the Dixiad tournament 2 times already in football. How important is such a competition? I'm talking of the Orange tournament in the recruitment of players to represent the region.
Certainly, yeah. During this period, there's so many. It serves like a pre-season.
Right.
That's why you see other professional club sites. They do have pre-seasons. This is a booster to most of the football clubs out there in the Southwest Zone, because the second division players, they do have the opportunity to play in 2-3 competitions, and they keep fit. Apart from that, as Coach Riley said, it's an avenue for the detection of talent. There are some persons who may not be playing for the second division sides and who may not be seen by the various sports analysts and the sports pundits of the region. It's here in the region, and some persons may even come for holidays and they participate in these competitions, and they are urged to stay in the region, and they play the competitions and represent the region valuably during the Dixiad.
All right, so we're going to get straight away to our machines to have an excerpt of what happened at the Moliko Miso Stadium last week, Thursday, at the opening. It was the opening match of the Orange Holiday football tournament out here in Boya, and we had on the fixture Fenerbahce versus Madiso. It was 2 goals for Fenerbahce and 3 goals for Madiso. Let's have a look at that match.
Yeah, mics are off.
All right, we have a penalty there to be taken by a player of Madiso FC. Just to remind you that the scoreline situation out there on that day was 3 goals for Madiso and 1 goal for Fenerbahce. We also have another match, a second match, which took place on that day. Was between 2 second division sides in the Southwest region. I must say 2 teams that play in the regional amateur league. That was between Mount Cameroon FC and Boya United, and it was Mount Cameroon FC that carried the day on that occasion of that match. We're going to get back to the machines to have an excerpt of the second match between Mount Cameroon FC of Boya and Boya United. Alright, on your screen now is those are the images of the match. You can see there's 2 sides warming up here. We have Mount Cameroon FC dressed in red jerseys, and we have as well Boya United dressed in white jerseys. Just to remind you that on that occasion it was Mount Cameroon FC of Boya that carried the day by 1 goal to 0. Maybe a quick analysis, Coach, to see professional sides in the Southwest region playing in such a competition. What does it make you feel? How does it make you feel?
Well, I have a feeling of joy because most of our players now at the Southwest region are not competitive. So if they organize this competition, it's going to make the players be much more competitive to kickstart the second division regional league, which is scheduled to take place some few days to come.
Alright, so that tournament is still ongoing. We're talking of the Orange Holiday football tournament, which is currently taking place out here in Boya, the town of legendary hospitality. And of course, we're going to keep you filled with the latest as far as the fixtures and results of that competition is concerned in subsequent editions of Sports Ride on CMTV. We continue talking about local football, talking about interquarter football. This time around, we're going to Muya, where we had the UNDP interquarter football competition out there. The final was played last week, and of course we had our men on the beat who brought back some images of the match that took place between Muya FC and Bomaka FC. It was the final of the UNDP interquarter football competition. Let's have a look at it. Right, we have on our screen Muya FC in red with green jerseys on top, just warming up a few minutes before the final that opposed them to Bomaka FC, who are going to be putting on yellow jerseys. And just a quick note, it was Muya FC that sailed through and carried the day by 3 goals to 1 against Bomaka FC. Sonia Armstrong, again we see interquarter football competition on quite muddy pitches but well animated.
We have always been used to that those type of pitches in Africa,
right.
But I think let's hope that with the 2019 Nations Cup we can use some of the funds to build some sports infrastructure. You know,
Alright.
we know the Nations Cup is not as big as the World Cup, but I love what South Africa did with the proceeds of their World Cup.
Right.
You know, they could build up to about 75 pitches, 95 pitches nationwide in South Africa. And today, even the under 19 competitions are played on very good pitches. You know, so I think Cameroon should copy the good example, and in future we should see our youths play on very good pitches so that we can get that talent out very well.
All right, coach. We know there's a national campaign to get us some new pitches, notably one in Limbe, which is almost 99% or probably 100% complete by now, and other stadia around the country which are being constructed. How eager are you for the 2019 AFCON, which probably will be hosted by Cameroon?
I think football in Cameroon has been very difficult to play football without pitches, because as you can see, after the World Cup, there was a lot of money that was disbursed, not for the construction of fields, of stadiums, but for the construction of football in Cameroon. So I think that the FECAFOOT body, with the money that was disbursed, not only for the organization of the league, but to run out the Cameroon football and to make it to be professional. So it's their duty to do that, to construct and to develop football in the nation worldwide. So what I think is that they have to do it. They have to construct stadiums around the nation, because it is going to help us detect more talents, and these young players, we're going to see the techniques, the tactics, because when the pitches are good, we see techniques, we see passes, we see controls, we see nice dribblings. But when the pitches are not good, you cannot put the ball on the floor and circulate the ball, so it's very difficult. So technically, when they construct these pitches, it's going to help us detect more talents and expose our players to the new modern football.
I'm sure.
You know, FECAFOOT is putting in about 6 billion francs to build a new headquarters. And I don't refuse that they should have a new headquarters. I accept that they should have a magnificent building as FECAFOOT, as the governing football governing body of Cameroon.
Country, right?
But how, if you spend all that type of money in building such an infrastructure when you don't have that pitch in Cameroon, then where are we going to? Because the football is on the pitch, the football is not playing in offices. If we can spend more money in building the pitches and maybe get let's say a moderate infrastructure
for the federation,
then we will prosper.
All right, we're not supposed to talk about the pitches, but of course we just have to evoke that because of the intercourt football competitions being played on some very muddy pitches out here in Boya. We continue talking about the Munya interquarter football competition. This one was organized by the UNDP party, and of course we are taking you back to Munya to have a view of what happened in the final on the pitch of play, on the field of play. Remember, it was Munya playing against Bomaka, and Munya carried the day by 3-1. Let's have a look at some of the images out there at Munya.
Part of the field, we cannot visualize that part of the field, but action is still in control as Munya FC gradually clears their position. Not for long, Bomaka FC pressure is going to be a spot kick almost 25 yards away as he waits it so poorly. A clearance from will clear his path as well, but for long, Munya FC can now.
Alright, so Munya FC in red jerseys over yellow stockings, and we have Bomaka FC in yellow, dressed like a Brazilian national team. It was 3 goals for Munya FC and 1 goal for Bomaka FC to give Munya FC the trophy from the UNDP interquarter football competition. We're going to continue very quickly with that competition. We're going to get to the organizer, the main organizer of that competition, representative of the UNDP party, who granted us an interview immediately after the final. Let's get what he says in this interview.
The objective of our movement is to animate the youth of our party. And the holiday is one of those periods where it is best to give youths the kind of animation that they deserve, because that's when they get out of school, that's when they get out of their different professional trade organizations and all that. And I think that this is just in line with the objective of the youth wing of our party, to animate the youths of our party. but the specificity of this competition is that it doesn't only bring together the youths of the party, it brings together all the youths of the various localities where we are organizing this tournament. And I think that the one of Boya, which is one of the first finals that we've had in this first phase of the tournament, has been very impressive.
Alright, so that was the word from the representative of the UNDP party out there on the occasion of the final taking place between Muya FC and Bomaka FC out there in Muya. We're going to get another interesting except, ladies and gentlemen, this time around it was the award of the trophy to the winning team out there at the UNDP football tournament. It was Muya FC, of course, that emerged victorious, and so we are going to get the award of the trophy to Muya FC. Just have a look.
We are counting 1, yes, Daniel Benjamin, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Go in peace, the match is ended. 40,000 is kept as collateral. Don't misquote us. TJ, the trophy is going to.
Alright, so we have the representative of the UNDP party about to issue the trophy to the winning captain of Muya FC, and of course so much joy out there in Muya, of course, who hosted the competition, was about 200,000 francs CFA to the winning team. So much ecstasy out there. I'm going to turn to coach because you've been in this situation before in 2012 when you won the Dixiad with the Southwest delegation. How does it feel, I mean, to win a trophy at this level?
I think at this level to win a trophy, it's joy. Joy. You're happy because you've given everything. Right. You've given your all technically, tactically, and even psychologically. You've given everything because to win a tournament is not just a matter of joke. You need to prepare, and to prepare means that you have to prepare technically, you have to prepare tactically, because everybody comes to win, and when you come to win, you need to prepare. So I think this feeling of joy. And I want to see it. I can see it from the enthusiasm of the players and the way they are doing the ambience.
All right, so we're going back to get a reaction from one of the winners, one of the players of Muya FC, immediately after the award of the trophy out there in Muya. It was, just to remind you, the final of the UNDP interquarter football competition out there in Muya, and of course Muya FC sailed through to be crowned champions of 2014.
So we from the start we have the confidence that we will won a cup. So it's not something that we are doubting. We have the confidence. So I believe on my team. So that's what I can say.
All right, of course, we can only expect him to be very, very happy and expect to win many more trophies as the season continues and as many more interquarter football competitions unroll and unveil themselves out here in Boya. We're going to continue talking about interquarter football competitions. This time around, not in Boya, we're going out of Boya. This time around to a neighboring town, Mutengene, where we have the Honorable Ekimafrit interquarter football competition that was taking place out there during the weekend. And of course, so much ecstasy around the stadium. Still a muddy pitch, I must say, ladies and gentlemen. And we cannot complain much because that's the situation of football in the country. But of course, we are looking at the ecstasy and excitement that characterizes this competition out there in Mutengene. Let's have a look. Quarter 1 playing versus Baghdad in the Honorable Ikema Fried interquarter football competition. It was an occasion for the Honorable to give back to his community in just the way of giving them something to occupy themselves with during the holiday. So we have Baghdad in the blue jerseys and quarter 1 in the safari blue jerseys out there. Interesting, Sonia Armstrong, interesting atmosphere out there in Mutengene, still in the muddy pitch. We're not going to talk much about that. But let's talk about the ecstasy. Interesting atmosphere in Mutengene.
The most interesting part of it is that the two teams are playing in blue. One is playing in sky blue and the other person is playing in dark blue. But what I would like to say is that the level of the spectacle on the pitch, the moderator of the pitch shouldn't spoil the spectacle. You know, it is the footballers who bring the talent to the pitch. People come to watch the talent; they don't come to watch the stadium, and that's why people are still there to watch the stadium. So, thank God we have honorables, we have political parties, we have persons who do volunteer to make the youths occupied during holidays, because not only those people playing on the pitches. You know, people do get rendezvous and they say, okay, let's meet at the pitch during the holidays instead of going out vagabonding in the quarters, you know. But they come out during the holidays and they sit in groups, social corners, and they have fun at the pitch side and they watch the football. You know, that's a good part of football. Football is not only on the pitch; it's what it brings to the society. And I think that's why it's the king sport.
All right, that's it as far as interquarter football is concerned here in Boya, the town of Legends Hospitality, and around the Fako division of the Southwest region. We're going to take a break now, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up, we talk about regional football. We talk about meeting and the General Assembly meeting of the Association of Football Club Presidents in the Southwest region. It held out there in Limbe over the weekend, and it discussed so many important issues which we're going to analyze on the program coming up in just a few minutes after this.
25. From here to there.
As we advocate for peace, social cohesion. If the youths are part of peace, then nobody can be against it.
Nous pouvons dire qu'elle a été en certain moment menacée et la jeunesse pour la première fois a fermement pris.
I think peace is the first condition.
They have to partake in all activities of the youths.
And the women, they don't come out in their numbers.
Left to right. The Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. Search it out. CMTV.
And sparkling.
That's what I'm talking about. Don't you touch that dime, cause we're staying tuned to CMTV.
You're welcome back. This is still your weekly diary sports program on CMTV, and we're coming to you live from Boya, the town of legendary hospitality, and of course the seat of the politics in the Southwest region. We're going to go now to talk about regional sports, still football, and this time around we're talking about a meeting organized by the Association of Football Club Presidents in the Southwest region, which held in Limbe over the weekend. The meeting was organized to talk about important issues and problems which are plaguing football in the region. We're going to have a report on that meeting with our reporter Tad Javismai.
The long suspension of the regional amateur league, the payment of subvention to clubs, and the election of an executive bureau, among others, topped the discussion at the General Assembly meeting of the Association of Football Clubs President in the Southwest region, which held recently in Limbe. The meetings, which took place within the confines of the CDC Club Hall, had in attendance representatives of some 18 football clubs in the region.
It was a very important meeting for us because we are facing so many difficulties for our league. So this meeting was to try and see how we can organize for the future. The team are having many crises, financially and even technically concerning our region, especially the organization of our league.
Unanimously, the club president demanded that compensation be offered them by Freka Food to atone for their expenditure on training sessions and players' maintenance during the suspension of the league, which is now dragging into 3 months. To achieve this, a working committee was created to handle the issues.
It's not normal that when people are working together, they should meet from time to time to assess their endeavors. We are playing a league together, and the league has been off for several weeks and months. We are not seeing any signs that things are going to improve in the next few days. it was about time that we get together to assess what level of league was arrived at, and look at our difficulties and think together to find answers to some of the issues which face the clubs in general.
On the issues of subvention, the club presidents demanded the sum of 2 million CFA francs and 33 balls per club, which was promised by Fecafoot alongside their own shares of Cameroon's earning from the just ended FIFA World Cup in Brazil.
World Cup fallouts. You know that the of the Malaysian agreed that they're going to give some percentages to the club and the amateur leagues. So we're looking forward to this money to the clubs as the country to be paid to the clubs so they can maybe defray some of their costs.
Discussion also centered around the forthcoming Fecafoot election, during which Eteki Charles proposed to present the association as candidate for the position of Fecafoot regional president.
Well, I think I was very happy and although it came to me as a surprise when they invited me, I don't want to let them down. I think I'll take the challenge, I'll take the bull by the horn, and we'll see what will happen.
A bylaw committee was also created to pen down the rules that will govern the association. Bureau's elections will take place at the level of club presidents.
Many thanks to you, Tad Jarvis, for that exclusive report, a report exclusive on CMTV Sports Right of the meeting that held out there in Limbe between the presidents of the clubs out here in the Southwest region. I'm going to turn to you, Coach Asongo Nicholas. You're part of that meeting representing the Vice Chancellor of the University of Boya, who is the president of the UB football team. Tell us a little what that meeting was all about, the need and the urgency of that meeting.
Well, the meeting held on the Saturday was about, 3 points, our subventions, the normal subventions which used to be given to Southwest regional teams. We have our compensation, because we have been training since, and the league was supposed to have an end in June, but then it was not stopped. So we had to come back, and after the games and later on after the World Cup, we had to continue the league, but it was not launched. So till today our players are doing the training sessions, and you all know that all that is, we need money. Technically we need to pay the players, we need to pay their allowances, we need to pay their match bonuses, we need to pay their training premiums, and up to today Fecafoot has done nothing to solve this situation. Right. And we also needed to compensate the players. Before the league you have to compensate the players, and when the league takes too long, it makes the training session have a long duration. Right. So that's why we're asking on Fecafoot to see if they can compensate our players and the club in general. And our balls, technically the balls are not up to date. Right. The materials are not up to date, so we need to purchase some material so that we can continue the training sessions with. So that's why we had to call on Fecafoot to try and see if they could help us purchase some of this equipment by giving us subventions and the normal subventions that we used to receive from Fecafoot.
Alright, Sonia Armstrong, the clubs are demanding 2 million francs each alongside 35 balls per team from Fecafoot. They are just the regional amateur league, not the professional league. Any reaction to that? Is it there a possibility? Is it realistic? Is there a realistic demand from Fecafoot?
I think 2 million francs is even too small to run a football club.
An amateur football club, not
no matter how small it is, even if it's a club at the level of the interquarters football competition, where you have to keep up the players. Players are not like guys who live with their families and all that. Those are persons, some of them are married, some of them have responsibilities, and these responsibilities must be taken care of. One thing is, if you give 2 million francs to a club that has 25 players, right, how much do you think per player? How much do you think the coaching staff would take, the medical staff?
Don't you think the clubs themselves should also have some responsibility for paying their players?
Well, there is a prime body, the supreme body for football is Fecafoot. Right. We shouldn't forget that. It's true, maybe sponsors and every other persons could chip in something, but 2 million francs plus what we chipped in cannot keep up with the clubs. So I think maybe 5 million francs will do for the clubs, because it's very difficult to run a football club. Well, for one thing we should know is, those players play on the pitch and they are not paid and they grumble. They should also understand that when these presidents do meet, it's because they understand their plight. They do play under a body, and if the players are not there, as I earlier said, the spectacle will not be there. The football is not played in the offices. The football is played on the pitch. So I think FECAFOOT should react very fast, and for the 35 balls is but normal. They are supposed to provide infrastructure. It's for the development of Cameroon football. If these clubs are not there, we will not have players for the national team, even though most of our players do come from the professional football sides. But before these guys go to the professional level, they do play in our country. It is from our country that scouts do come and get them. So if these guys do not play here, how will the scouts come and get them? How shall we get in a formidable national team? How shall we go for the World Cup? So I think FECAFOOT should react very fast to this situation.
All right, talking about FECAFOOT, we also spoke to the Southwest Regional FECAFOOT Secretary General in the person of Mr. Lyonga Davidson Nango, who gave us an idea on the situation of the regional and amateur league at the level of the Southwest region. We understand that the league has not been in play for about 3 months, about 2 months before the World Cup, and since the World Cup ended out there in Brazil. So we spoke to the SG, Mr. Nango, who gave us an idea of what's happening as far as the Southwest Regional Amateur League in football is concerned. Let's have him.
Just want to find out from you the present situation of the Southwest Regional Amateur League.
Well, we are very much on course. If you can see, we are very busy. The truth is that we're suspended. Not really that somebody suspended us, but as a result of finances, we had to suspend the league because we could no more continue. And it was almost at the verge of the kickoff of the World Cup, so we had to wait until the return of the people who went to Brazil. Not only that, they had written a memo asking everybody to suspend action of football until after the World Cup.
The World Cup ended about 3 weeks ago, and since then the league has not kicked off yet. Why is that?
Well, the head office asked for certain documents. We have sent that, but they were still not satisfied. They want it in a particular format because they want to take over the payment of our officials directly from Yaoundé. So they wanted a special format so that they will know the referees and all that, so that they can make payments from Yaoundé. That I'm sure has caused part of the delay.
So when can we expect the re-kick-off of the regional league?
Well, if all goes well, we hope by next week we should be kicking off. We hope to send somebody to Yaoundé maybe today or tomorrow to present the documents as requested by them, and then maybe 6, 7, 8 days from now, as soon as we have monies, we kick the league.
Many of the clubs complained that they did not have an idea of the fixtures of the matches they're going to take part in. Has that been addressed now?
It has been addressed. It's just that when everybody waits for me to come to their houses and give them copies, none of them come to the office. They wait for me in the field. That's not how it works. Come to the office, and whatever questions you have, see the SG or his administrator, and your questions will be answered.
Right. Any last words or remarks for football lovers in the region?
Well, I've had a big problem with the turnout of spectators. I've cried on air, I've cried on radio and TV. I do not know what's wrong with the Cameroonian public. We are not encouraging these young ones, because when they are on the field of play and they see the stadium is empty, it doesn't give them that zeal, that push, So my appeal to the public is we should come out and support these boys, because watching European football does not help us in any way. We ask plenty of them who plays for what team in Cameroon, they don't know. But they will tell you all the players for Chelsea, for what have you. I mean, it's not helping our football in any way. They should come out and support these young lads, so that maybe tomorrow they end up in the national team and what more, maybe in Europe as well. That's my appeal.
All right, Mr. Nango Lyonga Davidson, the Secretary General of the Southwest Regional League of Fika Food, talking to CMTV Sports Right exclusively on the situation of the Southwest Regional Amateur League. Let's turn to you guys. It was a quite lengthy interview where he spoke of so many things, Coach. I'm sure you have grasped so many things. He spoke about the league and saying that probably next weekend, expectedly, if everything goes well, the league is going to resume out here.
Well, I think you were there in the meeting last time in Limbe, and we all decided unanimously that if Fika Food does not react on our subvention, we shall not kickstart the league.
Right.
And I think that it is what we have decided, and we will not start the league if the Fika Food does not give us subvention and doesn't comply with what we asked, like the materials and the normal subvention and the subvention coming from the World Cup.
All right, Coach, I just want to interrupt you because we know that the conditions for earning this subvention from Fika Food means that every club must have at least 16 official and authenticized licenses from the Fika Food Central Bureau before they can have this share of their subventions. Can you assure us that UBFC has met these demands?
I think for the moment we have 21 licenses
right.
of players, and we have 3 officials. We have the head coach, we have one assistant coach, and I've initiated the license of the medical, the team, the doctor.
Right.
So I can assure you UB is up to date. But then we did that. They did this at the beginning of the league when we had a meeting at the Fika Food Bureau, and it was stipulated that we must have at least 16 licenses to benefit from all what Fika Food is going to give. I don't think that any club will, at this point in time, will not have at least 16 players licensed. So I want to believe that most of the clubs, at least we have 21 clubs or 23 clubs, and I think that at most 18 clubs have the 16 players or 16 number of licenses within the club. So most of the clubs are entitled to benefit this money, and we hope that it's going to come shortly as we demand it from Fika Food.
Alright, so I'm strong. One more thing he spoke about, I'm talking of the SG of the Southwest League of Fika Food, was the attendance of football matches in the Southwest region. It's something that has also characterized the national scene as far as football matches are concerned. The most popular matches seem to be only those of the Lions, who have now become even unpopular. And the only club I can think of who can still boast of a huge fan base in Cameroon is Bambutus FC of Buda. Apart from that, almost every other stadium is empty during football matches.
It's because of the calendar of our football. We don't have the right information. I seated here, I can't tell you which club, even if the competition was to start this weekend, I can't tell which club will play against which other club. Right. I think here in Boya, if we're talking about maybe the regional league, Boya FC UBFC should have the biggest fan base as the University of Boya students, but the students do not have, and it's because the administrators of the clubs themselves do not have that information, and it's because a calendar could be drawn at the beginning of the season, but later on there's a modification which comes in, and maybe you could go on to the pitch on Saturday, you learn that the match has been postponed to Sunday,
right.
And on Sunday you may have planned something else. What I would like to say is a proper calendar should be drawn out. If you get the matches in, let's not go to Europe, let's go to down South Africa.
Right.
A proper calendar has been drawn from August to May, and I know every match that will be played, except if a team is engaged in continental activities. At that time, there's a modification to its fixture, and it is made public to every person. I think that's an example that we should copy at the level of our regional league.
All right, Coach has a reaction.
I think also going to the same light, also that it's a great problem with the Southwest Regional League, because at times you ask me about the match, about information that concerns the UB football team, and I tell you I don't have the fixtures.
Right.
And that's why what we have been deploring about Fika Food.
But you got what the SG said about the fixtures?
Yeah, and I want to believe that what he's saying, I will be very, very grateful with having the fixtures, because when we have the fixtures we do plan, and when we do plan in terms of the budget, we have the budget, and when we have the budget, then we can make use of the budget depending on the match that we have. Take for example, if we have a match in Mamfi and you know about the UB administration, which is the money is not disbursed in the stats, but when we do have a match to play in Malfi, like the one we were supposed to play in Malfi, we need to go to the administration, make a request, and when we make a request, we have to make it at least 1 week before. If we don't make it 1 week before, then we'll be forced to like not go into the match or borrow money or lend money to go for the match, which of course at times is not all the time that we have money in order to go to do that. So we are hoping that the FECAFOOT is going to make an effort and make available the fixtures so that we can play the tournament without any major obstacle and like what we've just seen.
All right, last reaction.
In management, we need forecast, and if you don't give a calendar to a club, that club cannot make a forecast. Even if you give that club the money, and that's why sometimes we have mismanagement, because the club will make the forecast based on the calendar they have. And at sometimes they are hooked up because they don't have that the calendar of the end of the season. But what I would like to react also concerning the interview, because he said the Secretary General said there's money. The money that's supposed to be sent is money for officials. Then what happens to the clubs? He did not react as concerns the club, and the clubs are the most important because it's true that the officials, the refs, and every other person are important, but that the players who play the game. So I think they should react promptly. If they want the people to go to the pitch, because sometimes if you wait for 3 months and you don't go to the pitch, that zeal, and the leagues, the European leagues will begin soon, and by the time those leagues begin, it will be difficult for people to go to the pitches. But I urge our Cameroonians to go and watch our own youths, our own talents out there, because we shouldn't be surprised tomorrow when we see somebody moving up from Sweden coming back and they say this guy played for Mount Cameroon FC or UBFC, and people are surprised that when did this guy play for UBFC? So we should at least know the history of our players. That I watched this guy play here at the Moliko Municipal Stadium. Today he plays in Denmark. I can be proud to give his history.
All right, thank you very much, Sonny Armstrong, for that interesting piece of analysis. Now we're going to move to something else. Friendly matches that we played out here during the weekend out here in Boya between some professional amateur, I should call them some amateur clubs out here in the southwest region. We had Littlefoot Society Football Club of Tico that played against Mount Cameroon FC of Boya, and it was a 1-1 draw. After that match, we had the interviews of both coaches. We're going to start with the interview of the coach of Mount Cameroon FC of Boya in the person of Coach Mute Jonathan we are gonna, of course, we're gonna have him, Coach Mute Jonathan, on the microphone of CMTV just after the friendly match between between Littlefoot FC and Mount Cameroon FC. Let's have him.
Friendly matches is always to prepare players, and we are doing everything to. We have Mount Cameroon is a football school. We play today with the second division team. Most of the players from academic. So we are also preparing them to know how competition is, because academic and competition are two different things. So really happy their behavior. Most of these friendly matches is to see how they're going to behave. So I was really happy with the friendly match and on working with them so that they should improve. My problem there is not to win. First thing there is to see how they will play, whether they respect the zone of football, because football feel like there is what we call zone. If you don't know how to position yourself to take your zone, you cannot be a good player. So, and them are not yet up to that standard, so we are trying to bring them up. So really happy. So we keep on playing friendly matches and always inform you people before we play. And he's
more of Mount Cameroon FC Football Club of Boya speaking after the friendly match with Littlefoot Society Football Club of Tico. We also have the coach of Littlefoot FC of Tico in the person of Coach Ayok Basil. Let's have him. All right, we have some difficulties getting that interview. It's the interview of the coach of Littlefoot Society Football Club of Tico just after the friendly match between them and Mount Cameroon FC of Boya. It was a 1-1 draw, and we have the coach now to talk to us, Ayok Basil of Littlefoot.
So far we are round bottom on the league, so we want to do everything possible to make sure that we qualify for the mini Interpol and possible to qualify to represent Southwest for the national Interpol. We are very, very prepared. We are one of the candidates that represent the Southwest region for the Cup of Cameroon. After a swallow, we lost 2-0. We are
Matches is always to prepare.
All right, thank you very much to our technical crew for getting us that interview between the two interviews of the both coaches, the coach of Mount Cameroon FC and the coach of Littlefoot Society Football Club of Boya. We also had another friendly match out here in Boya. It was between Dynamic FC of Boya and the University of Boya Football Club. Unfortunately, coach, you lost that match because the Dynamic had a 2-1 advantage over you. But of course, you were quite glad after the match. Good prestation from your players.
Yeah, you know, it was a very difficult and a nice match because I want to say that, you know, most of my players are not around. Most of them have traveled. And, you know, it's the holidays. And like I told you, we have a problem of financial difficulties. So it was very difficult for us to maintain all the players back home, that's in the southwest. But then those with whom we have been training, I can say that's 14 players. We have been training with 14 players. Like last time we went to Bafang with 14 players and we were able to win. And I gave a speech. I told the players that those who have gone, they are gone. And when they will come back, we'll continue with them. We cannot call them because we have financial crisis. But I want to thank the Vice Chancellor because he's doing everything possible so that financially we should be very well. He has signed a sum of 1.5 million in order to continue the Cup of Cameroon and to finish the season with, which is something not bad. And I want to believe that we're going to manage this money till we go through the Cup of Cameroon and play the league that is upcoming. And the match, technically, it was very good. The young guys who were available, they played and they showed what they were capable of. And we played that day without a goalkeeper. And technically, tactically, in terms of zonal disposition, the guys were well placed. And I want to believe that in every match, it's not the victory that counts, but it's what you have been preparing and what you hope to play in the next matches to come. What I was observing in that match was to see, since we are playing against either a first division or a League 2 team, I wanted to play a match against one of those teams that we might be facing. And I want to believe that the guys responded well, technically, tactically. We dominated the match, but just that finishing was still a problem, and we hope that we're going to work it in the subsequent matches. Thank you.
All right, so we know that UBFC has qualified for the round of 16 of the ongoing Cup of Cameroon after beating the National Polytechnic of Bamenda Bambui just a few weeks ago out there in Bafang by 1-0 in the round of 32 of that prestigious tournament out there in Cameroon. Tomorrow we're going to have a friendly match as well between UBFC and Littlefoot Football Club of Tico. Is going to take place at 10 a.m. at the Moliko Omnisport Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a break now. We're still on Sports Ride. This is a CMTV, and of course, up next after the break, we're talking about national football as well as international football, the latest of transfer news and gossips and rumors from all around the globe. Just stay with us. You're welcome back. Thank you for still being with us. Just a quick word to tell you that you can still follow us on our Facebook page, CMTV, and as well our Twitter page as well. You can also get to us through our website, www.chillenmusictv.com. And as well, if you have any information or sports event you wish for us to cover, you have the numbers on your screen. You can contact us and call us through those numbers, and we'll be at your disposal to make your events known. We talk now about national sports, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about FECAFOOT and its upcoming elections to take place in November. FIFA and their president, Sepp Blatter, has ruled that the 2013 General Assembly of FECAFOOT, which had previously been declared illegal or unconstitutional, is going to be the General Assembly to vote for the new executive committee of FECAFOOT come November. Now, Coach, and I'm strong, we know that previously, pundits, sports pundits and analysts hold that it should be the committee or the General Assembly of 2009 not that of 2013, which should vote for the upcoming executives and the president of FICAFoot come November. What's your take on this, Armstrong?
I think most of the persons who are going in for football at the level of Cameroon are going in for the money than the sports.
All right.
I see persons who are materialistic and they want to get some enrichment out of our football. You know, I don't see the passion. And our football is now at its flaws. And 90% of the persons who are seated at that General Assembly are part of those people who are making the football be at its flaws. We shouldn't be adamant to change. We should respond to change. And I think the young persons who do propose themselves, you know, if you go maybe to France, Noël Le Graët, who is the president of the FFF, that's French Football Federation, is somebody who has been well endowed into football. If you get to the level of UEFA, Michel Platini is somebody who has been well endowed in football. He knows what football means. I think sometimes it's been said that let football be for footballers and politics for politicians.
Right.
And I think in Cameroon, I think we should be getting towards that change. Football for footballers, politics for politicians.
All right, and of course, Coach, your reaction to that, the 2013 General Assembly to vote for the new president and his executive committee of FICAFoot, and not that of 2009.
Well, like my colleague has just said, let football be for footballers, for those who are imparting football and those who have been very committed in football to partake in the election. And I believe that, and I want to hope that they will take the 2013 constitution, as you rightly said. I want that they should take the 2013 because it deals with mostly those who are partaking in football, and they should be the ones to intervene in that election, because we have to change football in Cameroon, and it starts from that domain, and it starts from footballers. It starts from those who love football, and I think if you are passionate in football, you will not like to see the football dying. And to me, they should give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. That is it. So
all right. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Of course, we know that the Normalization Committee have done their bit to revise the statutes and the code of elections of FICAFoot. It has been approved already by the governing body of football in the world, FIFA. And of course, it's decided that elections for FICAFoot will take place in November. That's how we're going to end our national page, ladies and gentlemen. Right away, we take you to our international page. We talk about footballers out of or in the diaspora. We talk about first of all our captain, Lions captain Samuel Eto'o, who is still searching for a club, I should say, or whom clubs are still searching for. I don't know which one to use now, because he's under the radar. No one knows where exactly he's going to. We know that the likes of West Ham United of England, Tottenham Hotspur of England, as well as AS Roma and Juventus in Italy are still trying to get the services of Eto'o, but of course his wage demands are too many or too high for them to deal with.
Samuel Eto'o has gone to what in French we call the seuil. He has been to the top of the wage ranks, and it's very difficult for somebody who has been at the top of the wage ranks to come down. And he's still at the top of his form. I saw him play in the Deco testimonial out there at the Dragão in Portugal, and he was when he combined with Lionel Messi, he was just so magical.
2 goals and an assist.
I think Samuel Eto'o still has 4 years or more to play. You know, he's a striker, and strikers are sometimes with the more years they do get in the game, with the more experience they do get in the game, they become better players. You know, so Samuel Eto'o at the moment, it's a case of responding to his wage demands. You know, and by the time a team responds to his wage demands, which shouldn't be less than 8 million euro, I think he will settle in that.
All right, he's already 34 years of age, coach, and as much as we think he has 4 more years to go, do we think that his wage demands are realistic? He was asking for £100,000 from West Ham per week, which if converted to franc CFA will give us 100 million franc CFA just per week for Samuel Eto'o. Do you think he's been realistic with his wage demands, and still too high?
I think football here, you know, is business, and you know these big teams, they do love young players. I know Samuel Eto'o today is 34 years, and when they realize that when they purchase Eto'o and the amount that they take in buying him is not going to like yield for the team.
Right.
It's very difficult. Etofis is 34 years today, and you know very soon he is at the plate of that's coming out in football. So they need young players like James Ramirez. You know how much he was bought. So Etofis is a good player, but the amount that he's given for his salary and in terms of purchase is so high. That's why you see most teams are like reluctant to take him. But rightly, Etofis is a good player and he's still a potential player. And I want to believe that he should reduce his weight. He should reduce it so that he could go to a wonderful team, so that we should always be seeing him playing. Why not 2, 3, 4 years again for him to excel?
Just in the same marketing line, I would like to say that Samuel Etofis is a brand name today.
All right.
Apart from the fact that he plays the football on the pitch, if Samuel Etofis signs today for West Ham United, that's a footballing star who goes to the team. Probably the number of sales for his jersey will increase. Some few years back, Real Madrid could spend 300 million euro in buying Kaká, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Karim Benzema. When they bought those three players, they knew that in the next days the sales of their gadgets will increase, and that is how they do get back the money.
But I'm sure we know we cannot compare West Ham United and Real Madrid in terms of finances. Real Madrid are the top side, they're the richest club in the world.
One thing we should note in London is that out of all the Premier League club sites, West Ham is not the biggest in London, but he has the biggest fan base in London. That is one thing we should note. It is the most loved club site before Arsenal in London. So if Samuel Eto'o moves over to West Ham United today, I think the first thing will be that other players will follow Samuel Eto'o into West Ham United. You know, if Samuel Eto'o could move over to Anju Makashkala, that is why Willian could move over to Anju Makashkala. That's why Lassana Diarra could move over to Anju Makashkala. So it is that marketing value which that player has. And some players today, as I earlier said, they are brand names. Samuel Eto'o today is a brand name. You know, you could see how the fan base of Chelsea Football Club increased in Cameroon because of the presence of Samuel Eto'o. I mean, in Africa, you know, today the fan base, and it dropped a little bit because of the performance of last season. But today, DJ Drogba is back there, and because of that brand name, DJ Drogba, and the association between the brand name DJ Drogba and Chelsea Football Club, the fan base will increase, and that the revenue also will increase.
All right, so we're looking forward, and we'll be telling you in our subsequent editions where precisely Samuel Eto'o is going to be playing football for the 2014-2015 season. We know that the likes of AS Roma of Italy, Juventus of Italy, Tottenham Hotspur, and West Ham United, alongside the other clubs in Turkey and the USA, are currently seeking his services. We talk about another international Cameroonian, Eyong Eno, who has played for UBFC some time ago, has played for Littlefoot FC out here, Mount Cameroon FC, and has played for so many clubs. He's seeking or in talks currently with some Spanish sides. As the top of that list is Deportivo La Coruña, and so we might likely be seeing Eyong Eno playing in Spain next season. He currently plays for Antalyaspor in Turkey, but of course he might be leaving to Deportivo La Coruña out there in Spain. Your reactions, coach?
Well, I think that's the best. That's a nice thing, because Eyong was one of the players who did a very nice World Cup, even though the Cameroonian performance was so low. Right. You saw him at the midfield of the Cameroonian team playing and giving all his all. And even in terms of his comportment, you know, football is not only the pitch. We also have the comportment. We also have your discipline in the pitch, out of the pitch. He's wonderful, and we look at the ambience that you bring in the team. You know, Eyong had been when we were at the UB football team. He was their captain. Right. He was a captain, and he has always been a captain. Even at the national team, he's assistant captain. Right. And I think that psychologically, he's up to date to play for the Deportivo La Coruña football team, because we know techniques. The league is made up of techniques. It's a technical league, and Eyong, we cannot boast of him being a very technical player, because we know about his skills. He's a very energetic player. He's tactically in the game. I want to believe that if he goes there, he's going to have a good season in the Deportivo La Coruña.
All right. So in just a few weeks or a few days on subsequent editions of our sports programs, we'll be letting you know whether or not Eyong Eno has finally signed for Deportivo La Coruña. We also know that some German clubs, as well as some clubs out in Greece, are seeking the services of the Cameroonian Lions vice captain. To end today, ladies and gentlemen, and to end our transfer news and gossips on our international page, we talk about some guy, a veteran, I don't know if I should call him that already, Xavi Hernandez of FC Barcelona and Spain, who has decided to quit international football at the age of 34. Xavi Hernandez has played for the Spanish national side and has won already the 2010 World Cup, the 2008 European Nations Cup, as well as the 2012 European Championship. So he's a well-experienced footballer, has played for so many years with FC Barcelona and has decided to put an end to his international career. So we're going to be seeing him play for Barcelona but no longer for Spain. Sonny Armstrong.
I think Xavi Hernandez is 135 caps for Spain.
That's
and
right.
19 years span as part of the Hora. What I'd like to say is he has given enough to his nation, and he thought it wise that it was time good enough for him to let the younger generation come in. And Spain has a young generation of multi-talents who can valuably replace him at the level of the midfield. But to have that same touch as Xavi Hernandez, I doubt. But I think they do have those midfielders. We'll miss him at the international level. But you know, even though he's carrying a muscle injury at the moment and he'll be out for 3 months, I think when he'll come back on the pitches of Europe playing for FC Barcelona, well, wherever he settles after this, you know, I wish him the best, because he's a great player, and you know, if you're a football lover, it's always it's quite aching to lose this type of players on the pitch.
All right, so it's on that note, ladies and gentlemen, on the retirement from international football by Xavi Hernandez of Spain, that we're going to end today's edition, to put a cap to today's edition of Sports Ride on CMTV. We told you a lot of new things happening as far as football is concerned in and around the country. We told you about the meeting of club presidents that held out in Limbe to discuss the issues plaguing football in the Southwest region. We had a reaction from the Secretary General of the Southwest Regional League of Fecafoot, Mr. Davidson Lyonga Nango, who spoke about the situation of the Southwest Regional League. And of course, we gave you the updates as far as the latest interquarter football competitions around Boya is concerned. I want to thank you very much, Sonny Armstrong, our analyst, for being on the program, and hopefully we'll see you again on Wednesday next week for another edition of the program.
Hopefully. One last information which I would like to give is about Lions goalkeeper, or former goalkeeper, but I think he's still an international because he's not going to retirement. That's Idris Carlos Kamini. I saw a very good Idris Carlos Kamini play in the Schalke Cup out there in Germany. For the 2 matches he played against West Ham and against Schalke, he was quite magnificent at the pole, and he kept one clean sheet, and the other he considered one goal in the other match. And he has, from the company that we knew that had lost form, I saw a very good goalkeeper, and I think he's determined this season to bring enough competition to Ochoa, who's probably coming in as first choice goalkeeper. But I think Kamini this season we should expect to see a very good Kamini, and let's hope that he comes back to the national team at top form.
All right, so hope to see you next week. Armstrong,
I'll be there next week as usual, and let's hope that God permits us.
All right, thank you very much as well, Coach Nicholas Asongo is a very well experienced coach, a very young one as well, Coach, with so many big dreams. He dreams to one day coach the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. We only want to wish him the best of luck, Coach. Thank you very much for being on the program today.
Thank you once more. Thank you very much, and I just want to say that whatever thing we do in life is hard work, like you just said, and I think we are working, and everybody is saying it, and I want to believe that those who want to change football are saying it, and we are there to change football, not only at the Southwest level or at the Southwest region, but nationally and even internationally. So we are there, we are working, and we hope that the viewers, and we hope that at our local level, we're going to promote football and make football to be an industry in the Southwest region, and it's going to be a great thing.
All right, so thank you very much, Coach, and of course, thank you very much to all of you who took out time from your very, very busy Wednesday evening schedules to follow the program Sports Ride on CMTV. Just to remind you, the program comes up every Wednesday at exactly 5 p.m. and of course, we give you the latest and the best of sports information from within Boya, the Southwest region, Cameroon, and the world at large. You can follow us on our website www.chillenmusictv.com, where you can get rebroadcasts or live editions of every single edition of this program as well. If you want to contact us for any of your sports events, just call us on the numbers that are on your screen at the moment. I want to thank the entire production team, and from all of them and myself, Abane, Jeffrey, I want to say thank you very much for following the program, and until next week from this end, stay tuned to programs on CMTV. Bye bye.
Here to score, yeah. 2014 au Brésil, oui à la forme, yeah. On gagnerait. Je salue le père, papa Roger Mila. Je salue papa Rigo, ben.